Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Unwritten with Thomas Malpass, a podcast about finding more purpose, passion, and peace in our everyday lives. Today, I am extremely grateful to introduce a man of great integrity and accountability and growth. He's accomplished a lot in his life, but he's partly known as an ex-pro Highland Games champion, founder of successful apparel line Not Dead Yet Clothing. In this episode, we'll explore stories of reclaiming your identity after leaving the spotlight as a pro athlete, facing the online media world of trolls, and how we define success. From Matt's journey of starting an apparel line to gaining deeper awareness throughout his life and the journey that's paved his way to where he's at today. Get ready for an intense conversation. I'll see you in the episode. Enjoy. Welcome to the Unwritten Podcast with your host, Thomas Malpass, where we are on a mission to help the world find more purpose, passion, and peace in their everyday lives. Through deep conversations and connection, tune in because we are all on this journey of life together.
But I just want to say thank you, man, for even replying to the email, because I reach out to so many just people on Instagram and in the same space that I guess we're in, like the personal development, self-help, motivation, grind, and a lot of people they either don't respond, or I've had a couple of people with around the same amount of followers as your Not Dead Yet brand, and they ask for money to come on, and I'm like, man, if we're all, we're all I'm just trying to spread the importance, and if I have to pay you to spread the importance of mindset and personal development, then I don't think it's worth it,
Right on. Right on,
But,
man. I'm happy to be here.
yeah.
I'm always honored to get a chance to be a guest. I've done 500 or so episodes of my own podcast, and I've never paid anyone. So,
yeah, I checked out the one with what's his name? His name is blanking on me. He has his own podcast.
that is not going to narrow it down.
Boudros.
Matt
Is that his
Boudreaux.
name? No, not Matt.
Or Bedros.
Bedros.
Yeah.
Yes, I watched some of that one.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, I was wondering, how do you get somebody on like that?
Part of it's having 500 episodes. Part of it is also continuing to know how to network. I mean, I've also positioned myself a handful of times to be in the same rooms as Bedros. We've spoke on the same stage at different things. And I know people that work personally with him. That's how you continue to build the network,
Yeah, because I mean, that's the goal with my podcast as well, I mean, my goal, 10-year goal with the podcast is to get it to the charts, and to get big names on there and to fully monetize it or whatever. Because this is the only thing I'm doing. So I might as well just go all in on it.
Well, and I mean, be honest with yourself about what that all in looks like, right? Because if you want to create that, you staying at home and hoping that you can do it remote all the time may not be the answer. It's going to take that willingness to fly to places. I mean, for the first 3 years of my podcast, I did them all in person and I flew to people.
Yeah.
I paid for that. That's investing in myself and investing in the quality of the content I wanted to create. At the time, the podcast was making some good money from ads, but also it supported the brand I had. It was another way for me to share my message and reach people and share the conversations I got to have with these incredible people.
Yeah.
So that the people in my audience can get it for free.
Yeah, exactly. So I start off every podcast with pretty much the same question, and then we can go from there. The question is, take us back and share some experiences that has shaped who you are today.
All of them? Fucking all of them for the last 40 years? I mean,
You're
but
40?
That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
I'm 40. I'll be 41 in April. But that's how it works. I mean, that idea that there were these specific instances in which there are louder ones, right? But we are an accumulation of not just all the experiences that we've had, but the way that we view those experiences. And those are either going to be feelings like attack and they weigh us down and we get into scarcity, or we can look at it and change our perspective on it and have the mindset that all of these hard days are what has given me the opportunity to become resilient. These are what have given me the chance to change. This is what's given me the opportunity to choose the life I want instead of live the life I was given.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, specifically a couple instances.
My
father died.
Yeah.
My dad passed away in 2014 to pancreatic cancer. And that's really what began this second chapter of life that I've kind of leaned into. Prior to that, I was still working outside sales in the oil and gas industry. I had a corporate 9-to-5. I was living a more regular life outside of competing in the Highland Games. And when my father passed away in 2014, and then 2016, my knee went to shit and I was done competing. It was really this awareness of, I can either choose to let the best years be behind me because I got to do this thing that I loved, and now I'm going to settle into being whatever an adult means or normal. Or I can continue on the gas and keep figuring it out. And for me, man, I don't find anything fucking worse than continuing forward to have to continue talking about what was. That guy's great, but he's fucking gone.
I hate that. Yeah. And especially in your position as I didn't know what Highland Championships was, to be honest.
No one does.
You said no one does.
I'm very aware that no one fucking knows what it is. Yeah.
But then I did some research and I seen it, and it actually it's a very hard sport. I actually watched an episode of the Strongmen. They had this like series where it was like the strongest
Eddie Hall and those guys did a bunch of shit. Yep.
They did a Highland episode, and that's what reminded me of that. I was like, oh, that's
it was cute.
Really hard. You said it was cute
watching it. It was cute watching them do it.
You seen that one too?
Yeah, of course. They're all terrible at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but also no shit.
Yeah.
You don't accidentally become best in the world at a thing.
Facts. Man, I forgot what I was gonna ask you, but I completely lost my train of thought. But it was about the Highland game. Oh, it was about holding your identity on being like that Highland champion. Because I think that's common for professional athletes to hold their identity like they're the champion, but then after, you have to retire eventually from that sport. But then a lot of these professionals fall into like depression, or they get extremely lost because that was them and they're holding on to that. What would you tell somebody who's struggling with that?
So where I landed with it, right? Like, and that was tough. That was tough because I didn't go out on my terms. I had a knee that wasn't fucked. Like, it wasn't that bad. The last year I competed in 2016, I finished second in the world, and I knew that my knee needed to get worked on, so I chose to have an ACL surgery and take a year off and rehab it and get back to the sport. It just didn't work out that way. I ended up having 9 other surgeries and a total knee replacement. And kind of, it came to an end. I didn't know the last time I competed was going to be the last time I'd compete.
Yeah.
And there's some bitterness around that, right? Like, there's that feeling, it got cheated. The truth is, like, that window is going to be temporary anyway. That window that I got to compete and travel around the world and be the best in the world in this sport was temporary anyway. So the end was coming. I'm on a collision course with that, no matter what.
Yeah.
How I choose to go forward from that is what really makes the difference. And for me, how lucky I was, right? Like, to find the abundance instead of bitterness, instead of the scarcity of what I don't have, which is this sport. I love it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. It gave me fucking everything. But the abundance and being able to have gratitude for how lucky I was to find a thing that every bit of effort I put into it for 10 years came back. And then I got to be best in the world at it. I got to push myself. I got a chance to learn discipline. I got a chance to learn what building new habits look like. I got a chance to learn what it's like to say no to a lot of things because my focus is on this. And either I either can go forward and say, here's what I learned. How do we apply that to the next chapter of my life to do the next great thing? Or I've got to say that the coolest thing I ever did in my life was when I was 33. And that seems like a shit way to live the next 60 years.
I agree, because you choose. It's all a choice when you realize
everything's a choice.
Yeah.
It's up to me to choose whether or not I want to spend the rest of my life going to Highland Games and saying I'm Matt Vincent, this guy that used to do shit. Or is that just simply a thing I did amongst the other list of incredible things I'm going to do in my life?
Yeah, I think that's the mindset shift that a lot of people have trouble with, because it's so easy to fall back into our automatic, like, negative scarcity mindset, especially when, definitely comfort zone, especially with the amount of instant gratification there is online today, and
especially when you've built a business and a YouTube following and everything else around how you compete in this sport.
Oh yeah.
You're being able to have the balls personally to say, this doesn't resonate with me anymore. I'm going to do what I want, instead of having this fear of what other people are going to think. And the truth is, no one else gets a fucking vote, dude. It's my life. It's my choices. I'm the one who suffers the consequences.
Yeah. Yeah. I think people online don't, it's the, people online, they take it for granted. It's like you see the overnight success but it's a 10-year overnight success,
Always is.
But people they only focus on the high moments.
Well, and at some point, I don't care if it's coaching or even how many advertisements get swiped across my page of how someone's going to 10x your business in the next 3 months, or how you're going to be able to build a faceless YouTube channel that's going to generate $3 to $5 grand a month if you just use this in AI. Like, at some point, we've got to realize this get rich quick scheme's bullshit. Quit fucking choosing it and get to work. Quit wasting your time and get to fucking work. It's going to be hard. Otherwise, everyone would have fucking great lives they love. They don't, because it's hard. But if it's not important enough to you to be obsessed about it and fucking die for it, it ain't going to work. It ain't going to happen. You're going to let other people's opinions get in the way. Let the little failures bog you down. I failed before, man. It ain't that big a deal. I've been beat before. Yeah. Ain't that big a deal. I couldn't give any less of a shit.
Yeah. You just have to. So what keeps you going? What is that, like, I guess, what's that fuel? What is your fuel that just wakes you up every day, that just keeps you going, that you don't let all the setbacks get you down and you just keep trucking along?
Because I'm going to die. That's it. That I am currently on a collision course. I know how my story ends. My story ends up with me fucking dead in the ground. And at some point past that, forgotten. No, I ain't going to make the long list of incredible people that lived on this planet. I'll be another one. And time will forget me. Right on. There was a lot of time that I didn't exist. And there's going to be a shit ton of time after me that I still don't exist. So all that matters to me is the time between right now and then. Yesterday, can't do shit about that. I don't care. Forward. I am so loyal to the life of right now, to when I'm dead, that that's where all my focus goes. And if I'm not willing to create the habits and take the actions and do the things that I say are important to me, then I should quit pretending they are. I should quit pretending like there's someone else in the way, or that there's another problem I can't solve. Because it's a lie. I've seen too many people do impossible things for me to believe that impossible is a real thing anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly the story of Roger. Is it Roger Bannister? The guy that ran the first 4-minute mile.
Oh, yeah.
He ran the first 4-minute mile. Yeah.
Yeah, you break the threshold, right? I mean, I know for me that any adaptation I want to create in my life, whether that's getting smarter or becoming fitter or more resilient or better at business, that only happens through discomfort. That's the way your muscles grow, right? Like, you go to the gym, you train, you tear and break down your muscles a little bit, and then they get sore because they have to recover and repair to be stronger the next time you train. You can't macrodose that shit. You can't go to the gym once for 5 hours a month and get anything done. You're way better off going 30 minutes every day.
Yeah.
Forever. Like, how long am I going to do this? Forever. Well, how long can I go back until I can be comfortable and do this thing, this bullshit, boring life that I had? You can't. Either decide to bury that fucking part of you and move on to create the life you want, or quit pretending you care. But don't be in limbo. Like, if you're not into it, don't pretend you are. It's cool. Go find something that you are. Find whatever it is that resonates with your soul that you give enough of shit about to show up.
I 100% agree, man. That's why I even started this podcast, to be honest, because I've tried a bunch of things as well in the past. And once I actually started this podcast, it was just almost 2 months ago. Something about it just felt like, I don't know, like fulfilling enough to because I do everything. Like, I produce it, edit the videos.
Yeah, you should
connect with the people. Like, I don't,
like, you shouldn't change any of that until it's making enough money that you spending time doing that is hindering the growth of your podcast.
Like a bottleneck.
Yeah. Because at some point you've got to learn how to delegate that way, that you handle that 10 or 20% of your business that actually needs your magic.
Yeah.
But until then, all the work's on you. This is your dream you're fucking building. You're not a martyr because you do all these parts of it. I learned how to edit. I filmed daily vlogs for 2 years. And I mean, any point of that shit of like, oh, it's not perfect, it's not ready. Fuck that. 100 episodes. You know how much better you'll be at this by episode 100? Quit giving a shit and get to 100 and get to episode 100.
Yeah.
You weren't good the first time you went to the gym. You weren't good the first time you did anything. But very few men and very few adults are willing to suck, especially publicly.
No, man, I literally I tell myself this every day, because I think doing something publicly is even worse, you know, because I mean, not necessarily worse, but it takes more courage, because no matter who you are, you're gonna get some type of haters. Even like your brand, there's
even
probably
that's
people
bullshit, dude. I've done this.
Yeah.
No, they don't. They don't. I've never been trolled.
You haven't been trolled?
I've never had to deal with that shit. No.
That's good.
You know why? Because I don't give any of it a fucking piece of attention. I say thank you to all the positives. I give those people my energy. Anyone else who doesn't get it, I don't fucking care. I ain't here to talk to the people with their hands down. I'm here to talk to those who do. You're not into it? Cool, man. There's about 800 million other shows you can go fucking listen to. I don't give a fuck. I'm doing what I want to do. I don't need your permission, and I damn sure don't take advice from anyone I wouldn't. You know, I don't take criticism from people I wouldn't ask for advice.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Are any of those people who act that way, that troll, right? Like, find me one of those that's living the fucking life I'm trying to create. Cool, you're not?
Exactly.
Well, I don't give a fuck about your opinion.
No, that's exactly my point. Because most of these people that troll, for some reason or another, they want to bring you down to their level because of some insecurity or jealousy or whatever it may be. And it's just, I'm the same way, man. I don't feel that fire. I don't feel fire.
I don't care what their insecurity is. I know that if you speak that way, we don't have anything to further talk about. I damn sure ain't trying to figure out why you speak this way or call you out on it. I just say thanks. Thanks, man. I don't give a fuck. What ends this conversation so that I can move more frictionlessly toward the thing I give a fuck about? I ain't here to convince you of it.
Yeah.
I don't need your permission. Also, I've never met anyone doing the shit that I'm interested in with my life. Like these other leaders, these other people, ain't none of them troll anyone. That's the fucking bottom trying to figure out how to shit on someone above them. Man, and we love it as a culture. It's what average people do, and I have no interest in being average.
Same, man. I just don't understand. I really don't.
Well,
hopefully there's no trolls listening to this.
I don't care if there is.
Yeah, I don't care either.
I just don't believe success is a scarce commodity. There's not any amount of success or listeners that I could have to my podcast that are going to take away from people that want to listen to yours. We can both do well. I'm not in competition with you.
You said success is not a commodity?
Success is not a scarce commodity.
It's not a scarce.
There's an infinite amount of it.
Yeah.
There isn't any amount of T-shirts that you can sell that are going to hurt my brand.
Yeah, because it's about shifting your mindset into that abundance, because there is an abundance and people don't realize that.
Yeah, I mean, look, whether you believe it or not, it'll be true to you. And that's up to you. I know what I believe, and I know how that's changed my life. I don't need any other proof or someone to debate with me. At this point, like if we're going to disagree with me on something like that, I'll just say, oh, okay, I agree with you now. And then I'll just fucking go on and do whatever I want to do anyway.
So this conviction that you have, does it come, you said it was triggered when your father, you said he passed? It was triggered when
he died in 2014 of pancreatic cancer.
And then...
and then, I mean, further stuff, getting injured, not knowing what I was going to do, fear of everything, like all that mindset came in. And it wasn't until I realized that if I don't do something about this, if I don't do something to get out of pain, if I don't do something to live the life I want to, eventually I'll fucking kill myself.
Really?
And so if that's the result, yeah, man, chronic pain, not liking the life I had, and what's the point of riding it out? Be a martyr for it? I don't fucking believe anything comes after this life. So this is the ride. Like, this is the heaven. I either can live in hell and stay in that hell, or I can create the heaven that I want to exist in. I chose to create it. I chose to become radically accountable, to be completely responsible to everything in my life, the good and the bad. Either I can let my father's death crush me and depress me for years and years to years, or I can change my perspective on it and realize that no matter what I do with my time and what I do with my life, I can get sick and be fucking dead in 11 months.
Yeah,
if that's
we
the
all
case,
could.
the ride's got to be fucking worth it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm driving
get in
around
a
in a
car
van
accident.
living on the road. There's no today.
Mm-hmm.
It is not 100% success that you get home today. I make every day fucking count. I move the needle every day toward the life I want to live. I'm not running away from anything. I'm running toward the life I want.
Mm-hmm.
What was got me here, but that ain't where I'm trying to stay.
Yeah, every day is an opportunity. Every day.
I'm
And a
curious
reason
to
to
see
be
what
grateful.
I'm truly capable of.
Mm-hmm. You're doing it, man. You're doing it.
Thank you.
That's why I reached out to you. I was so grateful. So why did you start the apparel line?
It really wasn't the plan. That was 2014, so it would have been October after my dad died. My dad died the day before my birthday in April, and then I sold our first T-shirt in October. Prior to that, I had been filming training and been on YouTube, and then I'd written 3 books on training for the Highland Games. And in one of those things, I talked about this mindset and mentality I have about why I press forward. Something I called the hate. I fucking hate my excuses. I hate my bullshit. I refuse to let me be one of my fucking problems. There's enough hard things that I've got to overcome that me being one of the obstacles is absolutely trash. You either take the actions and build the habits that make the life you want, or quit fucking pretending you care. I care.
Yeah.
So I show up. And at that point, like, writing about the hate or that mentality in the books that I had done, I built enough of an audience that they were asking for T-shirts.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then we started making shirts. And in less than 3 years, we're doing $1 million a year, and have kind of continued that for the last 8 years.
That's amazing, man.
No, even more
That's
amazing
not
is realizing right now I don't want to keep doing it.
Oh, really? You want to let it go?
Not at the extent. You know, I mean, man, I did a new release every week for 6 years.
That's crazy.
And now I don't want to do that anymore. I'm far more passionate and drawn to creating experiences that really shift people's lives, whether that's through retreats, or it's through coaching, or it's through group coaching, or even this international travel that me and my wife do. Now, the brand will just slide in to support that. We'll support Not Dead Yet Life and support the group that we build and everything else and support that community. But I don't powerlift anymore. I'm not the fucking guy that started that brand. But having the balls to say this doesn't align with me anymore, even though it's working, is a different hurdle to cross. Saying I don't want to do this anymore, and I'm not obligated to do it just because it works.
Yeah, especially something that became successful. It's hard to let that go.
Yeah. But I mean, I built it. It doesn't fucking own me. I'm not obligated to keep doing it. And pretending that I am is a fucking lie. I know personally that if I don't love it and I'm not obsessed with it, I won't be great at it. And at this point, 10 years in, I'm not obsessed with it. I'm not obsessed with it anymore. And so I've got to be honest with myself. Do I keep letting that thing get my energy? Or do I take that energy and focus it on what I am obsessed with? Because that's the only way I'll get great. I know what
I agree.
I've fucking done it.
Yeah, you have to be obsessed with it, man. Because I've dabbled in stuff as well. Even like the real estate, when I started real estate, I went like all in for like 6 months, but then I started feeling burnt out and noticed.
In 6 months?
Yeah, that I was like, I can't do this. It didn't give me, you know, that feeling when you do work, but it's fulfilling and it's like
but it
draining,
ain't every day.
Yeah.
Nothing feels that way every day.
Well, I didn't feel that at all with real estate.
Well, did you get into it because you love real estate? Or did you get into it because it makes money?
Because it makes money.
Well, who gives a shit then?
Yeah.
Tons of ways to make money. Also, if that's how you're going to define success, like the rest of the fucking average people on earth, you'll get caught in that trap. My bank account has very fucking little to do with how successful I feel. The options I have and the opportunities I have and the ability to live my life according to how I fucking want to is how I manage success. Because I want as many days of the rest of my life spent doing shit I care about, not grinding and pretending that I'm building up some XP points like in fucking World of Warcraft. Like I'm some type of martyr for this existence. Yeah, lucky I am to be born in America in 1983 to parents that love me and have the opportunity to actually chase any of the dreams I want to. How lucky I am to be able to choose the stress I want to adapt to. The ability I have to reach out and learn whatever it is. That all of the information's free on YouTube. All the information's free in books. You're your fucking problem. You're the limiting factor.
You just gotta take
and how you manage your time and decide, are you going to allow yourself to distract yourself from feeling that way? Now, I deal with plenty of anxiety. I deal with plenty of those things. But I recognize it different. The things I'm anxious about, that means I give a fuck about the outcome. So I lean in and make sure that I stack the cards in my favor. What I'm anxious about, that's what gets my attention. I don't distract from it. I'm not looking to cure that symptom. I want to uproot the fucking cause.
Yeah, I think that's the, for me at least, whenever you fear something or get anxious about something, I think that's an indicator for growth, because it's like, okay, why do I fear this? You figure out why you're afraid of it, and then you get closer to it. And once you get closer to it and you start learning, and it's uncomfortable, that's where the growth happens, I think.
Well, that's the only place growth happens. Is wherever the adaptation has to take place, right? Like if you're overeating and you're uncomfortable because you're full, guess what? You'll get fat. You do that often enough. That's how you get fat. You chose discomfort and your body said, cool, this is what we're doing. I'll adjust. Oh, cool. We're going to train every day. Cool. I'll adjust. Oh, we're going to get in the cold plunge every morning. Cool. I'll adjust. Your body doesn't give a shit. It will happily do whatever you tell it you're going to do most of the time.
It's mind over matter.
It's just understanding that it takes the effort. You know, like I said, you can't macrodose that type of change. It's the daily practices. It's the habits. I don't give a fuck what people think or what they try to say is important to them.
Mm-hmm.
I can watch your actions and tell you what's important to you. Like if you were to watch yourself on a daily basis from a third party and not be able to hear your thoughts and not be able to think what you're thinking and see the dreams, but just watch what actions you took during a given day. What would you say is important to that guy? Is it these dreams, or is it sitting on the couch and scrolling? Is it building this life, or is it giving that energy to someone else's?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just watch yourself and actually start taking accountable for
all of it,
what you're doing.
For everything.
Yeah.
All the success and all the failure is your fault. And high performers, athletes, any of that, I don't have a problem taking the failure. I don't have a problem being mean to me. I don't have a problem holding me to the fire. Being nice to me, being proud of myself, being able to see the wins instead of this gap that we constantly live in about once we get here, we'll feel X. Trash. Now, the other one's taking a lot of work. But that's habits too. Choosing self-love.
Mm-hmm.
And choosing the reason that I go to the gym, the reason I do that isn't punishment. It's a fucking honor. It's an honor that my body works. It's an honor I have this time to chase my dreams. And I honor that by giving it energy and giving it my effort and giving it my attention. But if what you're choosing is to give your phone your attention all day, it'll happily take it.
Man, the phone is the new drug.
It's not a new drug. Distraction's been around for fucking ever. This one's really good. This one's really good.
Yeah.
And it's a fucking shame. It's a shame that people don't look at it as the tool it is and think that it's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't give a shit. That's a thing I fucking own instead of it owning me.
Yeah. Have you read Extreme Ownership?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where it starts. That's literally where it starts. It starts with your mindset and taking.
Well, that's radical accountability.
Mm-hmm.
It's all on you. If you're a failure, it's your fucking fault. There may be some shit in your past you didn't choose and you had to deal with, but today forward, whether or not you choose to let that be the limiting factor in your life is on you. And man, it's a good excuse to have of why I ended up being mediocre, right? Well, I couldn't because of this or that. Right on, man.
Pat yourself on the back.
Yeah. Right on. That's how I feel when someone reaches out and tells me, you know, that. I mean, I remember hard talks, right? And so one of those was some point, I don't remember how many years it would have been before my dad passed away, but he got type 2 diabetes and starting to have some other health concerns, right? He's a typical guy, was a welder and didn't take care of himself physically, didn't manage his health at all. I bet he didn't exercise with any intention since high school. And when he told me he had type 2 diabetes, fucking gave him a high five. And he was like, well, you know, this is a problem, right? And I'm like, well, fuck, man, you've worked on it for the last 40 years. If I had a goal that I chased for 40 years and accomplished it, I'd be proud.
Yeah.
You're the one who chose to overeat and kill your fucking pancreas. And no one else put that fucking food in your mouth. It's your fault.
People love to have the excuse that it's genetics. Have you heard that one?
Yeah, man. It's a lot more fun to point it at someone else than ever take ownership of it. The only thing that does is kill you and your dreams. It doesn't protect you from anyone else's opinion. Just maybe it softens the blow to your sad little baby ass ego.
The poopy pants mentality. That's what David Goggins says.
It's childish as fuck.
Gotta wipe your own ass. Get over your poopy pants mentality.
Yep.
I read your article. I don't know if you wrote it or somebody else wrote it, but it was a couple years ago. It was called "Give Me an Hour and I'll Change Your Life." Do you remember that one?
I'm sure I wrote it, but I write a lot. So catch me up to speed.
I read an article on your website, Not Dead Yet, and it's called "Give Me an Hour, Change Your Life." And you pretty much wrote down like a game plan for like an hour to start your day to gain momentum. Wake up early, fuck the snooze alarm. If you hit the snooze alarm, you're fucking yourself over. Take cold showers, exercise, and get to work. Pretty much that sums it up.
Well, I mean, if you hit that snooze button, right? Who set that alarm? You did. Who set that alarm? That was you that said, we're going to do things different tomorrow. And when you got to the chance to either live in that fucking dream or shut it down again, you chose to fucking shut it down. Oh, it's too hard to get up 20 minutes earlier. If that's the fucking thing that's going to eliminate you from living your dreams, guess what? It ain't fucking happening. But I know damn sure for me, getting up an hour earlier or 2 hours earlier to make sure that my head's on straight to start the day so that I'm focused and clear and have taken care of the controllable things in my life, which is my health, which is my mentality, which is my clarity. If I'm not willing to get up and make sure that I have those, quit pretending it's important. Say you don't fucking care and let it go. But acting like, oh, I just can't. I don't have the discipline. It's, oh, you don't care enough. That's cool. It's cool.
Yeah,
it's an just quit beating yourself up for being fucking average and say average is what you want. Say good enough's acceptable.
Yeah.
Because you can't have it both ways. Don't fucking tell me that success matters to you and you're not willing to do that. Because I know that I'm willing to train in a garage by myself for 10 fucking years. I know that I'm willing to go to a field and throw by myself in a sport no one fucking cares about for 10 fucking years. I didn't have training partners. I didn't need someone else. I did it because I fucking want it. I want it more than I want to go out. I want it more than I want to be around those people. I want it more than these other things. Your actions tell me what's important. And that morning routine, man, dude, that's been probably one of the biggest game changers for me ever, is that getting up in the morning and putting my own oxygen mask on before I try to serve anyone else.
No,
damn sure don't wake up and start looking at my phone and letting that input start taking over my energy.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I definitely have those days and I just realize, like, what the hell am I doing? But I do also notice the days that when I do like because I pretty much do that every day as well. The waking up early, cold shower, exercise. What would you tell somebody? Do
you do the whole of it without getting on your phone?
That I'm still trying to work on.
You mean
working out?
Just put it the fuck down.
Yeah, just leave it.
Put on music, put on an audiobook. Stay off of anything that's giving you input that you don't want. Are you acting like you're not in control of that? Why are you giving any of your energy that you want for your success to something else?
Yeah. It's a trap, man. It's a fucking trap.
Well, its job is to get your attention. Like, that's the commodity. Like, that's what everyone's trying to buy. That's what the media on TV is trying to buy, is your attention. And what we've shown all of those places is we pay more attention to things that bug us. We pay more attention to things we don't like.
Yeah.
We would rather feel sick scrolling through our phones and comparing ourselves to lives we don't have, instead of seeing those as the possibility of what I can do.
That's the worst, actually. The comparison trap.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
Comparison's a thief of joy.
Mm-hmm.
And you can either use it that way and say, must be nice, look at this life they have. Or you can look at it and say, holy fuck, that's possible? I'm going to do that.
Mm-hmm. Get motivated by it.
And then maybe put 2 weeks into it and quit.
No.
10 years.
Yeah.
Takes 10 fucking years.
People don't want to wait that long.
Good. That's less people I have to compete with.
Right. Because today, especially today, it's easier to become, I guess, not mediocre, because there's so many mediocrity out there that all you have to do is exactly what we've been saying, which is it's easier said than done. But
yeah, it's simple. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's easy. Like, just do the work, just stay consistent, just wake up early. But you have to really want it. And I think that's the issue. I think that really wanting it, and knowing what you really want is the hard part, because a lot of people feel lost. They don't know what they want.
A lot of people want something else they've seen. They don't know who the fuck they are.
Yeah, they don't know what they want, or they're putting effort into something and it's not, the needles aren't moving. What would you tell that person that's just, they are doing the work, they are putting in the grind, they're doing the hour to change their life every day, but they're just not seeing any results?
Well, one, I don't believe that's possible. Because there's a big difference in putting in the hour, doing the grind, showing up and checking the boxes, than it is being intentional with that effort when you're doing it. Why are you doing those things? Is it to check the box of what yesterday said today's responsibilities are, or are you doing things to move the needle forward? What are the things that create the change you want? Find those and go. Look, I think a lot of people want to think this idea of purpose looks like a GPS coordinate, that this is some destination you're going to get to. It's not. It's a fucking direction. And in pursuit of that direction, you're going to take a fucking beating. And it's on that pursuit of that direction that the obstacles are going to come. And every time that you choose to stand up and answer it and keep the practices going and keep the effort going and keep the intention going when it's hard, that's how you slay that next dragon. And you take what you learn to keep sharpening the axe to go slay the bigger dragon. I love the pursuit. I don't give a fuck about the destination.
Yeah.
The destination's not real. There wasn't some point whenever we started selling $1 million worth of stuff that I got to relax. No. It's harder. Deciding to not have interest in it, yeah, that's a hard choice. Deciding to not continue a career that I put 10 years in the oil and gas industry, building clientele, it's a fucking hard choice. I'm responsible. No one else gets a vote. No one else's opinion gets to make a decision for me.
Is there any what is your thoughts on validation?
From other people?
Just either from other people or from yourself? Do you give yourself validation?
Yeah, I give myself.
How do you see that? Yeah.
I celebrate my wins. It's not something I've been good at forever. but I do it
Okay.
now because
Mm-hmm.
I know that I beat myself up for failures. That one's natural.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to train doing that one. But celebrating the success, yeah, that one's taking work. And it's taking effort to be proud of myself for all the little successes instead of, like I said, being caught in that gap between, well, I lost 20 pounds, but I still feel this way.
Yeah.
And then I returned to my old habits because when I did that thing and I got there, it didn't give me what I hoped it would.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going.
Yeah, because when you reach a mountain, there's just another mountain, right?
That's all it's going to be, dude. That's a destination. And
Yeah.
there aren't any books written about the fucking view from Everest. It's about the journey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The view's a moment. That view doesn't teach you shit. It's the journey and confidence that comes from getting your ass kicked and continuing to step up and know that you've got the fucking metal that when the universe doesn't, when the universe keeps asking you, is this really what you want?
Mm-hmm.
You say, fuck yeah, it is.
You have to have that response though. You have to have that fuck yeah response, because if you don't, that's when you have to start, I guess, for all the people that feel lost, that's when you have to really start figuring out what it is that gives you that answer, that fuck yes answer.
Man, I've operated my life from that stance for a long time because I'm not talented enough to halfway success.
Mm.
I'm not smart enough to half effort and be successful. It takes me going all in. And if whatever I'm pursuing doesn't naturally flip that switch, find something that does.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, everything is a real simple choice. Is this a fuck yes? Because if not, it's a no.
Yeah. Because when you have that answer,
that's people.
yeah,
it's everything.
Yeah, everything.
I live a fuck yes lifestyle.
Do you have a shirt? Are you still making new new apparel? That should be one of them.
We've done that one.
You've done that? Yeah.
Yeah, we've done plenty of fuck yes or no.
Yeah, man, that's good. So where do you see the brand going?
I don't know.
You don't know yet?
I see it being supportive for the group and the mentoring and coaching stuff that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not a fit, it'll go away. Because I'm going this direction.
You're going all in the
it can either work and come with it can either come with me or it can go away. And I can celebrate how great it was. Can't believe I got to run an apparel company that was my dream for 10 years. How fucking lucky that is. I don't have any feelings about shutting it down as like, oh no, it failed. Fuck that. It got me here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's not going to be what gets me where I'm going.
Have you done that? I wanted to do this retreat, something similar to what you're getting started. It's in California. I'm not sure if Bedros is actually part of it. It's like a 4-day, or it's either like a 4-day or week-long retreat thing where they basically put you through SEAL training for like the
I'm familiar with it.
You heard of something like that? It's like they put you through.
Yeah, I just don't have any interest in doing it.
Like a week of like, I was gonna do that. I mean, I still want to do that. I just have to save up 10 grand.
I think it's really valuable. I think it's really valuable for people. For me, it just doesn't turn me on. I don't have a problem doing hard things.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't my weak spot.
What is your?
I know I can show up and do the work. Deeper awareness, man.
Deeper awareness.
What do I really want? How am I controlling my actions? How am I staying in the mindset that I want to be in? How am I making sure that I'm surrounding myself with people that I vibe with and share the same energy?
Mm-hmm.
How am I eliminating my distractions? How do I get the fuck out of my own way? Physically doing hard stuff, I don't need that. I think a lot of people do.
No, because I think physically doing hard crap like the Navy SEALs and going through that type of training, I think that is like a stepping stone, or I don't know how you want to say it. It's like something that can trigger
it's a macro
that.
dose.
Yeah.
Right? That's a macro dose. Like you're going to a retreat to suffer on purpose for this thing. It's the chosen suffering that matters. Like that's what creates adaptation. At least after someone attending that weekend who's been a bag of shit or lazy and doesn't take care of themselves or do any of these other things, you got to quit lying to yourself and saying you can't.
Yeah.
I don't have that hang up.
It like forces that mindset shift kind of.
Yeah, that's not the experience I'm looking to change myself. I don't have a problem training for 12 weeks for a thing that no one gives a shit about. I don't have a problem locking in to doing a 20-hour bike ride if that's what I decided my goal was.
So what is this new venture that you're getting into? What does
Physically?
it look like?
Right now?
No, just the yeah.
Oh, coaching?
Yeah, your mentorship.
So big focus of that's helping people build radical accountability and a high performance mindset. That mindset that allows you to constantly make progress and keep moving forward, that's buildable.
It's a skill.
It's a skill. It takes repetition. It takes awareness. It also takes a radical accountability to say that I'm my fucking problem. The excuses aren't real. Yeah. Oh, I'm busy and my job requires this, or my kids, or any of this shit. Like, you chose all that. You didn't get issued that fucking job. You picked it. Pick a fucking different one. Oh, but I've been here for 10 years. Then say you fucking like it. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, you can't cheat yourself.
Maybe it's going to take 10 fucking years to get the life you want. Maybe you've gone so far down this path that you've backed yourself into a corner now. Where, oh shit, I built this lifestyle around this job I have, and I've got these kids, and now I don't know how to fucking move backwards to rewrite the book going forward. That's you to figure out. I can help. But until you admit that you're the fucking problem and you're willing to do whatever it takes to change it, ain't happening. Ain't a magic pill to take.
How does that look like? Are you allowed to share some like, how does that process that you take people in, how does that look like?
So I work one-on-one with people and we coach that way, or we host the retreats. And so this retreat that we've got in May, the one that we keep running, is called Hard Reset. I bring people in and we dive into doing hot and cold and sauna, ice baths. We do breath work. I want to figure out a bunch of things that help you become present. Because when we're present, we're not anxious. When we're present, we're in the moment. We're free of all that other bullshit from our past. And helping people realize that this identity that they've been carrying around, or this bullshit from their past, you're not obligated to. You can become whoever you want to be. If you decide to keep honoring that and making sure that everyone knows about this bullshit of your past, that's your choice. I don't walk around and introduce myself as a Highland Games world champion.
Yeah.
It's a thing I did. It's not who I am. In the same way, any of the past traumas I've had, or any of this, it's a thing I did. It's not who I am. I choose who I am. I choose the things I focus on. So getting men to disconnect from all this other bullshit and reconnect, hit reset and reconnect to having that loyalty to the life in front of you instead of what was. Like, that's what that weekend's based on. So I only take 10 or 11 men and we dive in, and it's close quarters. We all stay in a house. Food's taken care of. Stay the fuck off your phone. And let's sort it out so that when you leave here, you've got some new skills and techniques to stay focused. Oh man, I'm anxious. Well, did you do breath work? Did you do gratitude? Did you journal? Did you build any awareness around why you feel that way? Or did you decide to distract yourself from it by scrolling on your phone or getting fucking drunk or doing whatever it is you did? Either way, it's your choice. And so many people are doing that thing where they're trying to move forward out of fear. And that's not how it works. You have to move forward out of love. Love for the opportunity of this life. Love for what you're really capable of. Love for taking care of this incredible fucking machine that we were given.
Yeah, because that's the abundance of it. That's the difference.
You know why you're fucking fat? You're fat because you eat too much. That ain't genetic. It's a goddamn math equation. You eat more calories than you burn. That's how it works. Not some magic combination of food or some secret exercise that you don't think you've ever heard of or some supplement. It's you. Until you fully own that, you'll stay trapped. And so that's the big part that we work on, like shifting that mentality, getting people to realize that it's the abundance, getting people to find the gratitude and have a practice around that.
Yeah. Do people change during that?
Yeah.
Or do people stay?
Look, I mean, some don't make it. You know, some of them, like anything else, man, people are tourists.
You fall back
so
into...
the next thing that they become in love with is attending retreats because they get this high from going to the retreat, but they don't integrate any of the information. And whether that's attending retreats or going to train or doing 75 hard or going down to the jungle and doing ayahuasca, like unless you integrate the information that you learn, it's fucking useless. You're a tourist. You just want to collect a merit badge and say you did it.
Yeah.
Saying you did it doesn't change you. It's what habits you take forward from the awareness of what you felt that weekend at the retreat, and then you put those new habits in place and not just add more habits. It's not just add more. It's shedding the old skin and the old habits that you've allowed to hold you back.
And replace them with the actions that it takes.
Yeah, hey man, how about trying sitting still for an hour? Just be cool with sitting still for an hour, not looking at your phone. How lucky you are to have that ability. You think that hour is going to make the difference in your success? It's not. But being able to communicate with yourself in a way that you can listen, instead of letting it constantly be overdone by something else's voice. You know, meditation is one of those great practices, but what it is just becoming present, letting the thoughts come and go without judgment.
Do you practice? I practice Wim Hof every day. Do you practice?
I think breath work's great.
Yeah, man.
I do a
There's
variety
something
of different breath work techniques, from Wim Hof stuff to holotropic breathing to the apnea style breathing. I think they're all great techniques for different actions. But what I've realized from that, right, is I have the ability to change at my desire. I know how to slow down and get present. So if I'm anxious and I'm overwhelmed, we have tools. So admit whether or not you want to stay anxious. Because if you're not willing to go push that button, there's never been a time that if I'm anxious or overwhelmed or any of these things and I go do 3 minutes in my cold plunge, you know, I'm back focused and clear. So either go get in the fucking cold and change how you feel, or quit pretending you want to.
Yeah, if there's anything to take away from this podcast, is whoever's listening, the number one thing I'd say is extreme ownership, accountability, and having that fuck yes mentality to know that you deserve you deserve it if you put in the work.
You don't deserve it. You create it.
You don't deserve it. You create it.
You don't deserve shit. You don't deserve it. Like, nothing's obligated to give it to you because you worked hard. You got it because you earned it, because you figured it out. You know, how often that it's totally normal for a group of guys to sit around and drink, which is also a bullshit habit. To sit around and do that and bitch and complain in that negative mentality while consuming a depressant.
Mm-hmm.
But if we got around to talk about what we're excited about and the success I'm finding in my life, the weight I'm losing, the way I'm changing my life, everyone thinks you're a prick. Nah, man, I'm going to find better circles. My people around me aren't excited for my success as I am for their success. They got to go. I do not tolerate it.
Yeah, it's that whole law of attraction. I can't, it's something that's draining when you hang around those types of people.
Yeah. Look, man, if you're fit and you got 5 fat friends, you're going to get fat.
You're going to end up being fat.
You're not going to change their lives.
Mm-hmm.
They'll change you. Dance with the devil doesn't change, he changes you. So be intentional with who you surround yourself with. Be intentional with everything. Be intentional with the media you consume. Be intentional with the books you choose to read. Be intentional with the people you choose to hang out with. Be intentional with how you talk to yourself. Be intentional with how you spend your time.
Mm-hmm.
Because either way, it's your choice. You're either choosing to disconnect or you're choosing to connect to your better self. I choose connection.
Same. You have to be, I think the root of the problem, at least for me, was that awareness. I think when you actually start to build that self-awareness, that's when you start to get real with yourself.
Yep. And a lot of it's ugly.
Yeah.
Because you got to admit you're the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And until you do that, it's always going to be pointing the finger at someone else, and you're a victim. And the only person's life that fucks up is yours.
Well, Matt, I appreciate you. I'm so grateful to have you on here. I think
thanks, man. I appreciate
whoever listens. I think whoever listens to this is gonna they're gonna have to own up to themselves.
Well, I mean, whether they do or not doesn't change the direction I'm going.
Same, yeah. I'm gonna keep doing this.
You know what I mean? If it resonates with you, reach out and send me a message. If it doesn't, cool. Go find whatever does.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not your cup of tea, great. Go find your cup of tea.
Some people need some people need to hear this whether they like it or not. And if you are listening to this, I mean, it's everything. You chose to listen to this. So
yeah. But, I mean, want to make those changes? Come check out one of our retreats. It's a different thing, man. I'm not interested in. Come on. I got a couple spots left open in May.
Where are you located?
St. Louis.
St. Louis, Missouri.
Right in the middle of the country.
That's not that far from Austin, Texas, is it?
Nope, I'm in Austin right now.
Oh, you're in Austin right now?
Yeah, we've been here for about 3 weeks.
How you like it?
Austin's great. I mean, Austin's is probably what lent me into diving into awareness and starting to figure out that about myself and having this other viewpoint. Realizing how differently I can choose to live my life. Yeah, as exposure to some different mentors and people that have become best friends, from Kyle Kingsbury and Aubrey Marcus to any number of other people.
Yeah, there's a lot of great people out here.
There is indeed. There's also a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that want to be seen living that lifestyle that don't do any of the fucking work.
I think that's just a recipe for disaster.
Not a recipe for progress.
But I mean, one day I'll build a studio and I'll do all of my podcasts in person. But until then,
hey man, truth is the audience doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
If you put out quality content, that trumps anything ever that you're going to do trying to figure out the production side.
Mm-hmm. But I want to lean into the closing section. It's kind of similar to the intro. I asked the same questions I asked to every guest. We can talk more about it if you want or not. But the first question is, if you have any, what is your biggest regret in life?
I don't have any.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all got me here and I love my life.
Yeah.
I've had lots of failures. I've fucked lots of stuff up. I've treated people shitty. I don't anymore.
What is your biggest failure? Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, my biggest failure? Getting divorced after 13 years.
13 years.
It was a failure.
Yeah.
Just, I wasn't capable anymore. I had just not taken care of myself enough to realize what was going on. I fucked it up.
Mm-hmm.
I won't fuck it up again. I won't do the same things. I've fucked up relationships too, being selfish. I was a kid. I wasn't fucking great in my 20s, man. I was proud to be an asshole.
Really?
Yeah. That's part of being 40. But that kid also got me here.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not going to get me where I'm headed.
Where are you headed?
Don't know yet. Destination's not that important.
It's about being present and accountable every day.
It's progress, man.
Yeah.
Being able to do the things that make me happy. Doing the things that make me who I want to be. Surrounding myself with people that make me want to be my best.
Mm-hmm.
Being in a position that I can say yes to opportunities. And not have to say like, oh, I can't afford that. Or, oh, I don't know if I have time.
Mm-hmm.
I know the truth. And the truth is, I've made happen whatever I find important enough. It's either a fuck yes or it's a no.
Who or what has made the biggest impact in your life that makes you who you are?
Me. It's all on me.
Answer.
He's also been the biggest problem.
Mm.
You know, that idea of like that, you know, what would you go and tell you from 10 years ago? I just say thank you. You got me here. I don't want to be anywhere different than I am right now. I don't wish my life was any different than it is right now. So it took all those things to get me here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that guy decided to start filming himself in the field and talking to a camera when no one else gave a shit. I'm glad that guy decided to write books. I'm glad that guy wrote for a magazine for free for 4 years. I'm glad that guy decided to continue to put out articles. I'm glad that guy was fucking unreasonable in his pursuits. No, thank you. Yeah, man, there's stuff you fucked up along the way. No doubt. And there's going to be stuff I fuck up in the future. It's okay. But if I'm going to take all the blame, I get all the fucking praise. You don't get it both ways.
Yeah, that's actually the second time somebody answered that.
Who was the other person?
It was the episode hasn't been released yet, but it was an author. She wrote a book about growing up with an abusive alcoholic father and just overcoming that childhood trauma and then becoming a workaholic and obsessed with just working all the time.
Well, it's a distraction, right?
Yeah. She said she was the biggest impact in her life as well, which is a good answer.
I've had lots of people that have been impactful. I've had lots of great mentors. I've had lots of people that I've been fortunate enough to spend my time around, right? But they didn't find me. I chose and sought them out. I chose to make sure I invested in time and got on airplanes and went and spent time with them because I needed it. They didn't come to me. They helped me because I was willing to help me.
So earlier you said you don't believe in deserving. Do you believe anyone deserves anything? Or no?
I guess it really depends on how we're going to define deserve. Like, is the universe obligated to fucking make you feel a certain way? No. It doesn't give a fuck about your pursuit.
Like if you...
What, do you deserve success because you work hard? No. Or do you deserve love? No, you fucking earn it. It's an honor to be loved.
Yeah. So you believe you earn everything, not deserve it. That's a good mindset shift.
I mean, what's that help? I deserve this. Why don't I have it yet? Because you haven't done the fucking work. Because you haven't figured it out.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't.
I work hard. Anything. I should have what he has. Bullshit. You have what you've earned. This is the reality of what your path looks like by the actions and decisions you've chose to make. This is where you're at. Do something about it or don't.
Simple. Just do it. Next question. What has been one lesson that you learned the hard way?
Most of them. Yeah, I'm not that bright. I take a beating, dude. What I've learned is I'm built for damage. And so, a lot of times I take damage to learn. So most of the lessons come the hard way. Financial mistakes, relationship mistakes, self-care mistakes, not knowing how to diet, not knowing how to manage my nutrition so that I feel good and think clear. And all those have come because I fucked stuff up. I didn't right the boat because things were going great. Hard lessons. My first step into entrepreneurship would have been a bicycle shop when I got out of college.
Really?
I opened a bicycle shop with a couple friends of mine in 2005. Almost 20 years ago. And it failed. I mean, what's failure? I mean, I didn't do that for the rest of my life. So yeah, I guess it failed. It didn't work out. We lost our asses on. And there was an over sense of confidence that if I built it, it would work. And I was far more interested at that time saying I'm an entrepreneur instead of following up with any of the actions that actually make me that.
A wantrepreneur.
Or
have you
damn
heard
right.
That? Have you heard of that?
That fucking makes sense. It makes sense, man. I wasn't willing to do it.
Yeah.
Or I didn't know how. And I damn sure wasn't interested in admitting that I didn't know how.
Or putting in the work.
I was embarrassed at the failures. So I just didn't talk about them. Pretended they didn't exist.
They just disappeared.
Yeah. That's how they work. No, they just get louder. You can either listen to those failures when they're a whisper, or you got to wait until they smash you in the face with a sledgehammer.
Mm-hmm.
I now try to make the corrections while they're a whisper.
Yeah. Where you like, you begin to notice something.
You'd be like, oh man, that feels off.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna ask a question, but I forgot it. It came and went. Oh, yes. What, because it seems to me your mind is, you don't hold your identity to anything, which is really good. So what are your thoughts on just on self-identity?
Well, self-identity, I mean, to some extent I do, right? Like I know what's on brand.
Okay, yeah.
I know what's on brand for Matt Vincent, not my company.
Yeah.
I'm the business.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what's on brand for me.
Yeah.
You know, I know what resonates with me and hits all the fuck yeses.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the identity or any of that, but it also changes. You know, I don't look anything like the guy that used to compete. That was on purpose. That guy's gone.
Yeah, I was surprised actually when I seen like, I think it was like one of your old clips. I was like, wait, is 50? That? I was like, is that him? Like, you look completely
when I'm
different.
50,
yeah.
I bet I don't look like this. Good.
Yeah.
I want to change. I want to grow. I want to adapt. I'm not interested in still listening to the same music that I've crystallized in my late 20s. The idea that I found everything I was looking for at 22 and then just rode that out, nope. It ain't for me. I want to change. I want to grow. I want to adapt. I want to push myself. That's where I'm the happiest. It's having new experiences that make me go, holy shit, I was wrong about a ton of stuff.
I think that's the juice of life, to be honest.
It is for me.
Honestly.
I don't give a fuck about things, dude.
Yeah.
I like experience. Can't take those from me.
Yeah, I always tell people I'll wear the same thing every day. Like, I'll wear a white t-shirt and blue jeans every single day. Like, I don't care about.
Well, that's your brand, right?
Yeah.
Well, mine changes a little bit.
And that's
why I mix up facial hair. That's why I don't want to be predictable. I want to be able to flow.
Flexible, yeah. I'm the same. I think that comes with being open-minded. You have to be open-minded.
I mean, being bougie would have kept me from a lot of cool experiences, man. Like, I don't mind that for the last couple of nights we've slept in a Walmart parking lot in this van. I don't care. I'm doing what I want to do. I've stayed in a variety of places in the last month, everything from really nice 5-star hotels on the other side of the world in Egypt with a view of the pyramids. And I've also slept in Walmart parking lots. I don't care. It's the experience.
So
I
right
damn
now
sure
you're
know sleeping in Walmart parking lots won't hold me back from doing what I want to do.
yeah. So you're are you like on like legit vacation right now, or is it like
There's no such
what?
thing as vacation anymore.
Yeah. What are you traveling for? Is it just for the experience or?
Well, I mean, I came down because there's a ton of people in Austin that I hadn't seen in a long time. I haven't got a chance to spend any real time here without being rushed. I mean, I'll come in for like 48 hours for a meeting or two and then go home. And I needed a longer experience. So I'm attending a retreat this weekend that one of our friends is hosting that I'm really looking to get some stuff out of. I'm not hosting it. I'm not facilitating it. I'm there showing up. Because if that's important and I tell other people it is, who the fuck am I to lead if I'm not willing to go into it myself? Had meetings with a nonprofit that I'm starting to do work for. This work that we've started doing over the last year in Uganda. And continuing to see how we can help them continue to build that business and where my skills that I built over the last 10 years of running a brand can help them grow and make a bigger impact than I could.
There's no such thing as vacation. I like that.
You know, I didn't build a life that I need a vacation from.
Yeah.
I love what I do. I ain't trying to trade you 5 days for 2.
Yeah.
I do what I want to every fucking day. And that's how it looks 12 or 13 years into making that decision. Has it been that way? No. For 5 years, I had a full-time job that I traveled 70,000 miles in my truck a year, plus flew once a week, doing outside sales, while I still managed to become a world champion in a sport. While I still managed to write. While I still managed to put out a daily vlog for 2 years.
Put the work in,
Your
man.
excuses are keeping you from the gym. You know, they're keeping you from the dream.
You put the work in, man.
You know, and it's still work.
Yeah.
There's no feet up. I love this shit. I fucking love it. I love seeing people have that light bulb switch on and realize that they can fucking do anything they want to with their life. Finally realizing, give themselves permission to bet on them. People talk about they don't have self-confidence. Why would you? Have you done anything? You think that one just comes naturally? It's built.
No, I literally just my last because I do a solo episode and a guest episode every week, and I just put out a solo episode today exactly about that confidence and having it's not given to you. You have to build confidence by doing. The more you do, the more confidence you get.
It's the only way it works. You don't get stronger by not doing. You don't get stronger by reading about training.
Yeah. Man, I feel like we can go on forever, but the next question is, I mean, I think we already covered this. I think I know what you're going to say, but what would you I mean, it's pretty, I think you're going to say what you're doing right now, but what would you want to experience in life if time and money was not an issue? If you had all the time in the world and you had all the money in the world, what would you want to experience in life?
I'd travel nonstop.
You'd be nomadic?
Yep. Part of the time. I like having a home. I like being home. I also like being on the road. I'm not wanting for the other. I like both.
Yeah.
I like both halves of my life. What would I do? I'd adventure. I'd drive the Pan American Highway. I'd take off for a year. I'd go live in another country.
Yeah, I think we share the same sentiment because I think there's just something about traveling, honestly, like in human
Nothing's
nature.
changed me more.
Yeah, like something in our human nature, because a lot of people just, I don't know, a lot of people love traveling, and I think there's something about it in our blood as humans that.
Yeah, you say that, but most of the people in our country don't have a passport.
Yeah, right.
And most of the people in our country think, why should I travel? This is the best place on earth.
Really?
America's cool.
Maybe it's just me.
Americans
Yeah.
are tricky.
Mm-hmm.
I don't find that I align with most Americans. America, I really like.
Mm-hmm.
Americans, as a whole, that's 51%. Nah. But I don't know that there's anywhere that I feel completely aligned with. Because whenever you decide to be a mountain climber, you got to find other people that climb mountains. And there's going to be less of us up there who are willing to breathe that thin air.
Yeah.
It's not a shock that I didn't find all my best friends in the fucking town I grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
They're scattered around the world.
Where did you grow up?
Sulphur, Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was the same. Like I had to, growing up, I grew up in Dover, Delaware. And I had joined the Navy to just get out.
Good choice.
Because I felt like I had enough foresight to foresee that I can't live. Yeah, like I can't live like.
But that's all you need to know, right?
Yeah, because
having the
a lot
awareness
of those
that
people,
to say I've got to take different action to get out of this.
Yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of those people they're the same. I feel like a lot of people in Delaware, I don't want to say stuck, but they're like the same. They don't.
When's the last time you went back?
Oh man, it's been like 3 years. Only because my mom lives there, which I need to start seeing her more.
When's the last time you went back and like went around and did shit?
Probably like 5 or 6 years ago, when I was still in the Navy.
It's not the same place you grew up, man.
Yeah.
That's your memory of it.
Mm-hmm.
It has dick to do with anyone else's. That place that you think of,
Mm-hmm.
that don't exist in your head anymore.
Yeah.
Truth is, you ain't been there in 6 years. You have no fucking idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Don't have an assumption. Have an experience.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, we're coming up on an hour and a half. I gotta cut.
I was about to close it out. This is my last question, and it's pretty much something we went over already. But is there any last insights that you'd like to share on your journey of discovering you that you would want to resonate with the audience?
It's the radical accountability. It's realizing that if you're not where you want to be, it's your fault. There's a lot of things from your past that weren't. And I know that there are hard days and there's traumatic events and there's all these things. But how much you let that dictate your future is up to you. You're not obligated to continue being anything. Deciding who you want to be and building the habits that create that and the actions that make you that. Figuring out who you want to be in 10 years and what skills do they have, what abilities do they have, and start learning that now. It takes time. And if you keep wanting the easy way out, you're just going to stay stuck in it. The easy path is full of fucking losers, man. I'm not interested. If I see everyone going that way, everyone jumping on board with the thing, chances are it ain't for me. I happily look at the actions that average people take and go the other direction. Other people blame everyone else. Other people act like a victim. Other people continue to build further dissections of why they can't. Other people want people to change so they don't feel a certain way. Mm-hmm. Other people pretend that diet is something they can't overcome. Other people don't have any discipline. Cool. I'll go the opposite way of all that shit.
Yeah, I agree, man. And because you decide how you show up every day.
Yep. And if you don't show up, it's on you.
Well, thank you, man.
Life important enough?
I know we got to get going places, but I think you are an inspiration to many people. I mean, you inspire me. Just this conversation inspired me, and there's so many insights. And I think the key takeaway here is just to be accountable and show up. But yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you're doing, and everybody who's listening. Even though he may be pivoting his brand, go check out his Not Dead Yet apparel.
Yeah, we're still going to make some shirts. I'm just not doing it weekly the way that I have for the last 7
years. Yeah. So go check it out. Go support the brand. And that's it.
Check out Not Dead Yet Life. Come join us for a retreat.